In today's video, I would like to share with you 10 principles that I've implemented that have helped me to scale to multiple millions of dollars. I've recently turned 30 years old and I thought it'd be important to put out a video to teach someone who's out there that's a young entrepreneur, a young W-2 taxpayer, what things that they could be doing to be able to build wealth quicker in today's day and age. Some of the information that you see online is old information. It's outdated, it no longer works. And if you're trying to build wealth quickly and be able to enjoy your wealth while you're young, then you're gonna wanna adopt some of these money principles. Without further ado, let's dive in. All right, guys, the very first money principle that I wanna share with you is the ability to check all of my bank accounts every single day. One of the most important things that I've been able to do in order to scale my business is putting attention on my finances. You see, I used to be the person that would go out Saturday nights, Sunday nights. I wouldn't check my bank account until like Thursday night of the next week because I was so scared about all the money that I had spent, whether or not I was gonna have a low balance, whether or not I was gonna be fending to pay off my credit cards. And that was because I was just being very irresponsible with my money. But as I started to put attention on things that mattered, I started to see an increase in my finances. One of the most important things that you can do as a young male, as a young female, is to put attention on your finances. And a very important skill that you can adopt is checking every single one of your bank accounts and every single one of your brokerage accounts every morning. You should know if there's fluctuations in your money. You should know if there's fluctuations in your savings account or fluctuations in your brokerage's account. If you're not monitoring your brokerage account, your checking account, your savings account, you're not being mindful of how you wish to scale your finances. One of the most important principles my mother taught me is, Karlton, anything you put attention on expands like a sponge. If you put attention on football, you're gonna get better at it. If you put attention on backpedaling, you're gonna backpedal faster. If you put attention on your checking and your savings account, you're gonna save money faster, you're gonna grow money faster. So if you're watching this right now, one of the most important skills that you can adopt is checking all of your bank accounts every single day. All right, guys. The second money principle that I want to tell you is do not invest your money until you study investing. You see, as a young person who was surrounded by a lot of kids who had more money than me, and I'm just being honest, I was surrounded by a lot of kids, those of different skin color, and they had way more money than I did. And one of the things that I noticed about these kids was they had investment accounts. They were taught how to invest by their parents. They understood what an ETF was. They understood what the S&P 500 was. They understood these terms. I was so young and I just wanted money because I was thinking short-minded, and I just was parking money into random different brokerage accounts and Robinhood this and different trading accounts, not knowing what I was investing my money in or what the return I was gonna get or what the tax implications were if I were to take that money back out because I wasn't properly investing. There are so many kids out there that are seeing people online who are making money fast on TikTok and on Instagram, and they want to invest their money to be able to try to become like these people. But one thing that they're failing to do is they're failing to put in the work of studying investing. And I wish I would have done this first because, to be honest with you, I got very discouraged early on, and I would say early on, probably about 22, 23, 24 years old, I got discouraged from investing. I pulled all my money out of all my investment accounts because I was losing money because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what an S&P 500 was or an ETF or what earning dividends was. I just was putting money in places because I was told it was the right thing to do. Well, this actually ended up hurting me. I lost the compound interest, and now I'm sitting here telling you, I wish I would have studied investing before I just started putting money into an investment account. So if you're trying to build wealth quickly, you first need to study the game of investing. And once you study the game, you'll learn how to be good at it. Just like any other sport, you'll learn which positions you can play and which ones serve you. Make sure you study investing before you start parking money into investment accounts. All right, the third money principle I have to give you is your emergency account is an emergency account. It's not an investment account. You see, one of the things that I was doing was I was taking money out of my emergency account a lot when I was young, and I was parking it over into this account where I can spend it on investments or put it into investments. My emergency account no longer became an emergency account. It started to become an investment account because I was taking all the money out and putting them towards investments. This is a poor way to build your wealth. If you're trying to build wealth quickly, you have to have an emergency account that stays an emergency account, which means that it should only grow. It should never go down. From the moment you decide that it's an emergency account, it should only grow bigger, never get smaller. This was something that no one ever taught to me. I thought emergency accounts was like, anytime I need something that's gonna help myself, I should go to the emergency account and allocate it over to the bucket of helping myself. Me thinking I'm helping myself is spending money on a conference or putting money into Apple stock or Tesla stock because we're during COVID and everything's going berserkers. This is not how you build wealth correctly. Building wealth correctly is having discipline over your financial accounts. I lacked the discipline over my financial accounts. So I pulled money from my emergency account and was putting it into my investment account. And I can't say that it really got me great returns. I wasn't investing the right way yet. So if you're watching this right now and you have an emergency account, I'm gonna encourage you to practice discipline over your emergency account. You should never see that account go smaller. It should only grow bigger. And you should never allocate funds from the emergency to do investments. It is truly for emergencies. Now, to define what an emergency is not your family coming to you saying that they need money. That's not an emergency. Your brother, your sister, your mom or dad who got into a financial situation and they want to come for your emergency account. Your emergency account is for true emergencies. If you're going through a financial hardship, you personally, if you are going through a health issue or your family is going through a health issue, that's when you can go into an emergency account. Your emergency account is not meant to pay off your parents' credit cards or your brother or your sister's credit cards just because they made the wrong decisions. Your emergency account is not meant to write your parents or your family members checks because they want to get that new car or they want to be able to pay for this mortgage that they should have never got themselves into. You have to let those people handle their own financial mistakes and deal with them correctly as you are trying to build wealth and being the catalyst in your own family. You have to remember that. All right, guys, the fourth money rule that I want to give you is you have to be willing to save in lump sums. This is a very interesting topic. When I say save in lump sums, I used to be the person that used to do like this automatic $25 moved over to my savings account, $25 move over to my savings account. And early on, just to practice discipline, I recommend doing that. To be able to move small amounts over into your savings account, small amounts over into your savings account. But when you start playing a bigger game, you get around people that have lots of money, you'll realize they save money in lump sums and they invest money in lump sums. What I mean by that is, if you're trying to get wealthy and you want it to happen pretty quickly, you have to be at the right timing of certain cycles in the market. If you only had a couple of $100 sitting in Apple stock or a couple $100 sitting in Tesla stock when it goes 600% or 700%, you're not going to make a wealth move by only putting a couple of $100 into the market, dollar cost averaging. You need to put big lump sums into the market, $10, $15, $20,000 at a time into the market or into an investment property if you're trying to really move the needle with your wealth. But what I was doing was I was just smallly putting in money into the market, small dollar cost averaging. And I was wondering why I was never really seeing any of these gains like some of my friends or some of these other entrepreneurs that were already making millions. And the truth is because I learned something when I got around them. They showed me how they save in lump sums and how they invest in lump sums. They're not just parking a little bit of money into Tesla or a little bit of money into Google and a little bit of money into Apple. They're dropping thousands into Tesla, thousands into Google, thousands into Apple, and thousands into their savings account. They're moving in chunks, way bigger chunks than the average population, which is why they're able to build their wealth quicker. Doesn't that also mean that they're going to see bigger market shifts? Absolutely. But this is a strategy that has helped them and a strategy that I have adopted that has helped me build my wealth quickly. You have to be willing to save in lump sums and you have to be willing to invest in lump sums. Number 5 wealth rule. Don't be soft about money. Don't be soft to talk about money. Don't be soft to tell people the type of money that you're going to make or what you're planning on doing with your money. You cannot be soft around money. He who puts attention on something will go ahead and accomplish something. And if you're putting attention on money, if you're putting strength and energy behind wanting money, you will get money, you will obtain money, and you'll get it faster than you might think. The universe has a crazy way of working things into your favor when your mindset is in the right place and when your heart is in the right place. When you tiptoe into things and you're soft about it, you know what ends up happening? You end up riding the bench like most athletes who are soft when they step out onto the field. If you're trying to be hard around building finances, hard around building your wealth, you're truly meant to do this, then you will be tough when it comes to money decisions. You'll be tough when it comes to your mentality around money. You won't think in a scarcity mindset. You'll think in an abundance mind state. And this will help you obtain money quicker, help you obtain wealth faster. Do not be soft around money. Do not be timid to have money conversations. Be strong and be hard around money. And that means if your parents or if siblings or other people around you tend to be soft around money, what does that mean? Does that mean that you need to change your environment? Did you already answer the question for yourself? That's something that you have to solve, and you have to be willing to solve it if you want to be a catalyst in your family and make a difference when it comes to your finances. Don't be soft around money. Number 6 money rule is don't use debit cards. The broke people mindset is debit cards are safe because I know the money is there and I can easily pay for something as long as the money is there. The rich people mindset is, dude, I'm always going to be able to pay off my credit cards. Why not use other people's money since it's interest that I can borrow against and then be able to pay off whatever I want to pay off and earn points by being able to use a credit card. The difference between those who use credit cards and those who use debit cards is they have the ability to partner with somebody. They're partnering with the bank. And when you partner with the bank, yes, you're going to take on these high interest rates by using a credit card. But if you're using the credit card for what it's meant to be used for, to pay for something quickly with other people's money and then repay it back off, you earn bonuses and benefits that allow for you to travel the world, allow for you to get bigger lines of credit, allow for you to grow a business, or even borrow more money to be able to invest in something that's going to give you a higher return than the money that you're borrowing from. But if you're stuck in the mindset of, I never want to take on debt, it's going to be very hard for you to build wealth. Wealthy people have tons of debt. I have millions in debt, good debt, loan debt on my rental properties. And this is the type of debt I'm going to continue to grow. You see, I've already adopted the strategy of leveraging the banks. I'm going to continue to work with them. They're a great institution. They've been around for a really long time. They have lots of money. I'm going to continue to partner with the banks because the banks understand the business that I'm doing and they want in on my business too. So if I can borrow money from them and pay them to help grow my business and get a bigger return, we are both winning at this game of life. So one of the things that you have to understand early on, especially if you're a young entrepreneur, is you have to be willing to use credit cards. You have to be willing to set up an entity structure and to get business lines of credit, not just use your personal credit. You know how easy it is to affect your personal credit. Every time you swipe your credit card on the personal side, you have the ability to impact your credit score and the ability to impact your ability to go get a loan. But if you have a business, you can use your business's credit, and that will be able to be off of your personal credit and allow for you to grow the business in the capacity that you wish to for yourself. This is why it's so important to make sure that you're using credit cards and not just debit cards. Number 7 money rule. Be around money early and be around money often. One of the most important things that I did when I was young was I got around people who had lots of money. I went to college at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I stayed in really, really nice houses after my freshman year. After my freshman year, I moved in with this engineer who his parents bought him a house, and I brought one of my football buddies with me, and we stayed in this most luxurious house in college. I got to see how his parents took care of him, how they provided a house for him while he was in college. I got to go home with him back to his place in Northern California. I got to go to their beach houses and their lake houses. I got to be around them, and I got to see what money was like, and I got to see how they treated their family. And I also got to see the conversations that they were having. The conversations that they were having were not about how can we go on vacations and enjoy Disneyland. They were talking about money, wealth, investing. I learned what it was like to be around money, what it was like for them to see them spend money in the ways that they spend money, the things that they cared about that other people choose not to care about. What things that they put attention on, which was togetherness and family, that other people will lack and not put attention on. And most importantly, it taught me what I needed to do in order to be able to want those things too, or to be able to have those things too. You see, there's nothing wrong with wanting nice houses and nice cars and being able to travel when you want and not have to sit in, economy class and you can sit in first class. There is nothing wrong with wanting nice things. But what is your path towards getting there? And what are you going to do to make sure that you are staying focused on getting there? One of the things that you can do is show up to the car lot and drive the car. One of the things that you can do is spend the extra money and pay for the first class ticket. One of the things you can do is change up your environment and surround yourself with people who already have some of the things that you want. And that's what I did when I was in college, and that's what I did when I got out of college. Shortly after getting out of college, I was left to fend for myself, had to go figure out the whole money situation. But what I did do was I started to leave the part of Orange County that I was in, and I drove down to South Orange County, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, where I knew there was more money. And eventually I was able to afford an apartment down in that area. And then eventually I was able to get a house down in that area. I continued to spend more time around people and around things that I wanted because I wanted to be able to learn traits and attributes that were going to allow for me to develop into the man who I was meant to become. The man that was meant to have the houses, have the cars, have the things that I thought that were going to make me happy. But at the end of the day, all of these different material things, yes, they can be somewhat of importance. But what was really important to me was being able to understand what I could do to build wealth to get my time back. My goal was to get my time back to spend more time with my family, spend more time with my wife, and to be able to create a lifestyle that I don't want to run from. But the most important thing that I could have done early on was putting myself in the right environment, spending the extra money, paying for the first class ticket, because it taught me what was possible. And so if you're thinking, you know what, I'm just going to save my way towards my future, I'm telling you, it's not the way to do it. The best way to do it is go experience the future that you already want to have. So you already have an idea of what it looks like. So every day when you wake up, you know exactly what you're striving for, not some fixation in your imagination that gets morphed over time with all the things that you have going on in your environment. Protect your environment and protect your mental mind state. All right, guys, number 8, make sure that you have a have to do it mentality. What I mean by a have to do it mentality is when I was going into football, and we had Hell Week, you were taken into a place where you were stripped of your cell phone, you were stripped of the natural world, you were given shorts, you were given a white t-shirt, and you were shaved head. There was no calling your parents, calling your family, trying to figure out how you can quit. You had to go through Hell Week. You had to come out the other side ready to go. I remember what it was like being around a lot of kids who weren't prepared for this. But I saw a couple days in that their mindset started to shift because they realized, dude, I'm surrounded by all these other people who have similar attitudes, which is they realize there's no place to go. We have to get Hell Week done. We have to get past these push-ups. We have to get past these sit-ups. We have to get past pushing these prowlers. This is our lifestyle right now. And you know what? I'm so grateful that I had disciplined football coaches in high school and people that I used to curse at and call crazy that now I'm like, dude, these are my mentors, right? I'm so grateful that I had those people in my life because they shaped my understanding, they shaped my mentality for what I'm experiencing in this world. There's so much information going on, falsified information, people proclaiming all these different things. But I have this have to mindset that I have to go after what I want. I have to get what I need in order to be able to accomplish my goals. And this mindset, this have to mindset, it's really hard to adopt if you're coming from an environment where you weren't provided, a lot of support. You weren't given a great support system. You didn't have good schooling. It's hard to develop this have to mindset. But we've seen it happen with a lot of different entrepreneurs, a lot of different athletes, even people like Oprah Winfrey or even people like Obama who have sat in the places that they're in. They had this mindset of, I have to do this. I have to accomplish this. This has already been done. And if you can think like that in the mindset of, you know what, this has already been done. This is already for me. This is meant to happen. I have to do it. There's no other option. I'm burning the ships. I promise you, you will get so much further in life. So many more opportunities will open up for you just because of your attitude. But you know what ends up happening is that have to attitude starts shaping and it starts becoming something different. You start inviting in excuses. You start inviting in other people's opinions and how other people are going to view you. And that have to starts changing into, well, I guess I can, or maybe I should. And it no longer becomes your destiny. When you adopt the have to mindset, you already know something's going to happen for you. You already know you're going to hit $1 million. You already know you're going to hit 10 million in net worth, 100 million net worth. You already know it's going to happen. That type of mentality, that type of mindset is so hard to develop. But once you have it, I promise it'll become one of your most valuable skills, one of your most valuable traits that you hold so dear to your heart. Your ability to have that have to. Because when you're stuck in a hard situation and you're surrounded by other people that don't have that mentality like you do, guess who they're going to be leaning on? They're going to be leaning on you, the person that developed the have to mindset. Last but not least, the 9th and most important wealth building tip I can give you is adopt that you're a business owner or an investor. 99.9% of all millionaires did so by formulating a business or investing their money. Those are the two quickest ways to become a millionaire or to become wealthy. I don't believe being a millionaire is being wealthy. I believe probably when you hit around 10 million net worth, that's when the wealth conversation starts to come up. But as you're getting to that point, one of the most important things that you're going to have to do, is you're going to have to either invest your money heavily or you're going to have to become a business owner. One of the ways in which you can do both is going into rental real estate. Rental real estate is one of those smooth onboarding ramps into becoming a business owner because you really don't have to worry about employees. You have to worry about tenants. You really don't have to worry about impressing anybody or marketing yourself. You just have to get the property rented. Being a real estate investor is one of the quickest ways to you earning your time back because someone else is paying for your mortgage. And eventually, as the property appreciates, you can borrow against that appreciation and go and park that money into other investment properties. We like to use the cash out refinance or the home equity line of credit in order to be able to borrow from our own properties and be able to purchase additional real estate. But getting to a place where you own real estate is not easy. You have to practice some of these other wealth principles that I'm talking to you about. If you're not spending time putting your money on your finances every single morning, checking all your bank accounts, checking all your brokerage accounts, if you don't have that can do, it's already happened for me mindset, if you're not changing up your environment, if you're not spending time being around people who are already making money, it is going to be a long road for you. Because you're probably doing the same things over again. You're hitting the same button on the treadmill, going the same speed, expecting the same result. And that's kind of insanity. But I'm assuming that the reason why you've made it this far to the video is because this is speaking to you. You understand that these are some of the principles that you need to adopt. You're writing this information down. And most importantly, you're going to be the catalyst in your family. If that is you, you have to adopt these money principles. Guys, listen, I've had a great time creating this video. There's so many other things that I want to share with you. But if you would like this video, I would like for you to go ahead and comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe you have some other money principles that you think I should have hit on. Feel free to put them below. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Cheers.